Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to add my welcome to all of the students and alumni in the room this evening. It's wonderful to see you all at our 10th ISFLC. I know I can't quite echo the sentiments of Matt, but I feel old, having been 10. And I'd like to illustrate that for a moment by asking you all to raise your hand if it's your first International SFL conference. Wow, welcome. Glad to have all of you. And if you've been to 2 or more conferences, could you please raise your hand? Wonderful. Oh, wow. All right, keep them up, keep them up. Simon says. All right. All right, now you can put them down if you've only been to 2. All right. Keep them down if you've only been to 3. Or excuse me, put them down if you've only been to 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all 10 International SFL conferences. I can't quite see all of you, but I think I know whose hands were up, and I want to say thank you to all of you for being here from the get-go. It truly means a lot. As you know, a lot can happen in 10 years. After all, this time 10 years ago, the Patriots had just lost the Super Bowl. Go Pack. When we first started SFL, there were amazing groups doing pro-liberty work all over the world, but there wasn't a student-run network for students and by students. In fact, many of us still felt alone on campuses. But today, because of the hard work of many of you in this room, that's changed. We owe a lot to those who got us started. To the Smith Family Foundation for giving us our first regional conference grant, to Cato for in-kinding us a desk where Clark, our first employee, could sit even when we couldn't pay him. To folks like Nigel Ashford, David Bowes, Tyler Cowan, Joe Kwong, Jim Lark, Tom Palmer, and Eugene Volek, who trusted us with their time and reputation for only God knows why to be on our first board of advisors. Thank you to all. SFL is what it is today because of those who came before us, because of those who helped start us on the right path, and we thank you so much for that. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge what a wonderful job Wolf has done. He's had big shoes to fill with Alexander's leadership, so thank you to Wolf, and we look forward to another 10 years of wonderful leadership. Well, there are many new faces here tonight, and I'm thrilled to have all of you. There's a lot of excitement. There are also many who cannot join us. SFL has been blessed over the years to work with talented students, and it's always a tremendous loss when a student passes away. This is the hardest part every year. Please join me in a moment of silence to remember their achievements and their beautiful souls. With memories of those who came before us and all that is left to do, tonight we celebrate the hard work of our 2016 activism, the next generation of leaders for liberty, who are showing us day in and day out what it means to be an advocate. We begin with a new award this year for Artist of the Year. The ISFLC Amaji Art Exhibit showcases the many talented activists in SFL's network. Entries were judged by a panel on creativity, originality, quality, design, and impression of their art. The winning entry, which we will show in a moment, is the short film Munitionettes by Laura Cocteau. After receiving an official letter announcing the death of their husbands on the battlefield, the women workers of a bomb factory decided to make their own kind of revolution. It is a short film encouraging people to take control of their own lives and make their own decisions. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 2017 Artist of the Year. we also have a special announcement to make. Rodrigo Figueredo, one of the Imaji art judges, donated Simón Bolívar in a gas mask to auction at the International Conference. This piece depicts the Venezuelan Libertador wearing a symbol of repression, paying tribute to the civil upheaval and student-inspired protests of 2014. Now, Rodrigo is actually an exiled artist from Venezuela living in Italy right now. His work is notable for depicting resistance against the Maduro regime, and his iconic painting, Batalla, is inspired by and became a meme for the protest movement. In fact, it was also covered by and printed by the BBC. The auction ends tonight at midnight, so for those of you who have not already seen the painting or gotten involved, I'd invite you after our reception to view it in the back of the room. Next award of the night is for Student Group of the Year. Up first, we have Students for Liberty Korea. SFL Korea ran the first ever SFL conference in Korea this past year, which included 80 people. They ran 3 fora on Marx, Menger, Mises, and the Austrian business cycle theory, and I'm told even us Chicago school folks would be okay to attend. And they are translating many important works into Korean, which you can learn more about by talking with these amazing students who are here with us this weekend. Our next nominee is the Montenegrin Students for Liberty. They also organize an SFL regional conference in Podgorica for nearly 100 students. And they've assembled their own Academy of Liberalism to educate students in classical liberal ideas. And our final nominee is the Hyderabad Students for Liberty. They hosted the first ever Hyderabad SFL regional conference, which brought more than 100 students. They organized 4 colloquia for 50 students, and leaders from Hyderabad SFL participated in protests of the WHO's Tobacco Control Convention. And the winner is, oh, I like the drum roll, the Hyderabad Students for Liberty. Now, I think you all have heard about some of the travel issues folks have, and they're unable to make it this evening, but we do have a recording from the award winners.
Good evening, everyone. It fills my heart with pleasure and honor to have won the Student Group of the Year award. This award will inspire not just leaders in Hyderabad, but also across South Asia. Our journey began 2 years ago at the South Asia Students for Liberty Conference, a congregation of young individuals and seasoned libertarians from across India and the world, an experience that truly galvanized the student movement for liberty in India. So first and foremost, I'd like to thank Students for Liberty for its consistent and endearing support throughout our journey and for providing us a platform that empowered every leader in the South Asia region. Here's what a couple of our leaders from Hyderabad would like to say about SFL.
SFL has been a key part of my all-round development in my student life and made me aware of the essentiality of a free society and the impact we as individuals make in it.
SFL inculcated a critical analysis ability on socio-economic issues and also to find suitable solutions which are apt and applicable in our society. It also helped me to think in a much different aspect to what I was thinking earlier.
By far, SFL has been the most amazing learning experiences I've ever had. We love SFL forever.
SFL has been one of the major changes of my life because it introduced me to people and situations that made me see life in a different perspective.
SFL instilled confidence in me to shape my own life as a free individual and also influence others around me in order to promote liberty. It provided me with platform to set goals and achieve targets to establish freer society.
I'd like to dedicate this award to everyone who was and is a part of Hyderabad Students for Liberty. I had the privilege of working with a group of talented and dedicated individuals whose efforts spearheaded the student movement for liberty in Hyderabad. The beauty of the libertarian movement is that it transcends age, geography, religion, race, caste, nationality, gender, sexuality, and other such barriers, and it inspires us to consistently work together to achieve a freer and better world. Benjamin Franklin once said, "Energy and persistence conquer all things. Thank you and have a great night.
Our second award of the evening is for the Event of the Year. The first nominee for Event of the Year, I do PowerPoint for a living, I can't. There we go. Our first nominee is Open Festival, which is the largest European festival of liberty. It's a 3-day festival with over 2,000 participants. They had 30 speakers, including Tom Palmer, Vitya Lika, and Mustafa Ekol, so who some of you have met this weekend. They also had over 100 media hits covering the festival. Our second nominee of the evening is the Symposio Interdisciplinar Farroupilha. It was the third annual event for the symposium for the Clube Farroupilha, which is the largest group in SFL Brazil's network. They had over we don't follow order in the libertarian community. They had over 700 people attend the symposium, and the event was covered by local media, and even afterwards, the mayor of the host city, Santa Maria, said he would seek to better understand how libertarian ideas could help the city. Our final nominee is the Principles and Foundations of Free Societies. This was a tour of 10 events at 10 universities throughout Burundi. Participating students were given a copy of Ideas for Free Society, which is a CD collection from the Atlas Network, a network for free society. Students then presented their best case for the principles and foundations that are necessary for a free society. These arguments were judged, and prizes were awarded to the winning participants. And the winner is, you guys are good, Open Festival.
Hello, everyone. Obviously, you know I'm not Bosnian, but I do accept this on behalf of the Multi Association and our national coordinator, Admir Kavalic, who is back home in Bosnia, unfortunately, who could not join us. But we were there at the very beginning when they hatched the idea of the Open Fest. They were able to raise their own money for it, have many of you as speakers, and it became the largest festival in Europe. So we accept this on behalf of Multi and to the Bosnian team.
And our final, most coveted award of the evening is for the Student of the Year. The first nominee for Student of the Year is Imantaha Nugraha. He is the co-founder and president of SFL Indonesia. He helped organize the first ever SFL Southeast Asia Conference in India last year, which you heard referenced earlier this evening. He's spoken at events throughout Indonesia and all over the world on topics such as Uber and creative destruction, religious freedom, and efficiencies of state-owned enterprises, and using property rights to address climate change. Our next nominee is Ethan Pritchard. Now, if you're part of SFL in the US, which I imagine some of those folks are, you've probably heard of Ethan's name before. He's featured all over the news here in the US. He's the president of the College Park Students for Liberty. He built 2 large groups from scratch. He's reached over 1,000 students through on-the-ground campus outreach. And he organized a campus summit on free speech with more than 75 attendees, which he's told me he plans to host again next year. Our final nominee is Aimable Manirakiza. He's the founder of SFL Burundi. And let me tell you, it's not easy for him to do what he does. He's helped set up 10 SFL groups throughout Burundi. He's also helped form SFL groups outside Burundi, including in Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo. He organized a number of successful events, including Principles and Foundation of Free Societies, which was one of the Event of the Year nominees. And our winner this evening of the Student of the Year award goes to Ethan Pritchard. Is that Ethan? So I talked to Ethan this morning, and he was coming down with a stomach flu. I know. So he knows that he's won, so he's congratulated in spirit, and we'll have to hear from him at a later date. So for now, I have to say congratulations to all of our award winners, everyone who's done a wonderful job with all of their work and their activism throughout the world. In fact, there are many lessons that we've learned, not just from these activists this year, but over the last 10 years of SFL's existence. I wanted to share those lessons with you, but that would take a really long time. So maybe instead, I'll just share one of the most inspiring lessons I've learned, which is to never underestimate the power of young people and ideas together. We ran a conference, but you guys, you built a movement. We made new friends, but you made us family. From everyone who has worked on SFL to all of you who have helped make that happen, thank you so much for the countless ways that you've supported us. There aren't words enough to express all of my gratitude for the blood, sweat, and tears you've put in over the years to make Liberty a real thing. It truly knows no borders. Please join me in raising a glass to this evening's award winners and our nominees, to those who paved the way and those who walk it forward. Congratulations. Cheers.